YouTube, what's up? Riz here from Frogs Angels, and I have a 2-round NFL mock draft for you guys today. First ever 2-rounder. I also have 2 trades in there, so this should be fun. Let's get into it. First overall, Browns taking Myles Garrett. Don't need to go into detail about that one. Pretty obvious, sticking to it. Second pick, I have the 49ers taking Mitch Trubisky, quarterback, North Carolina. From what I heard around the league, most teams are agreeing that Trubisky is the favorite. They're saying he is probably a top 5 lock as of now. Not every team, but most teams says that. So it seems like Trubisky, chances are he's going to go number 2. Niners can pretty much go with anything there. Next pick, I have the Bears taking Jamal Adams, safety, LSU. My guess is they like Trubisky the most as well, and they feel that there's no quarterback worth the 3rd overall, so they go with another huge need and possibly the best player on the board at that point, Jamal Adams, who I really like. I think the Bears could potentially want to trade back. I do not see them having any takers because I don't see anybody wanting to give up that much to jump the Jaguars. I'm not really sure what the Jaguars need exactly. I think they plan on taking the best available player. I can see it being more likely that somebody trades up with the Titans pick as the first pick to being traded up for. We'll see, though. That's just how I feel about it right now. Fourth pick, Jags taking Jonathan Allen, D lineman, Alabama. Do I think they should take Jonathan Allen here? Probably not. This is more of what I think will happen, not what I think should. If I were the Jags, I would take Fournette if he's on the board. I think he can make a bigger impact on their team. Not that Jonathan Allen's not good. I think he's a very good player. I'm just not as high on him as experts might be, but I'm still pretty high on him. He's a great player. Next pick, Titans. I have Titans taking Corey Davis, wide receiver, Western Michigan. Right now, this might seem a little early, a few picks too early for him, but I think once we get to it after his pro day, I think he's going to be the biggest riser because of his route running and because of his speed, even though as of now I have Mike Williams just edging him out as my number 1 wide receiver. Could go either way, but I think Corey Davis will be a riser when we get there. Titans could be a potential trade partner here at 5. Jets at 6. I have been taking Leonard Fournette, running back, LSU. They have 2 running backs on the roster. I think Fournette's too good to pass on. I think he's an instant impact, better than their current running backs. Jets are known for taking best available as well. So Fournette would be a great choice. He's moved up to my number 2 player on my big board recently. Chargers, another one I'm sticking with, Malik Hooker, safety, Ohio State. They're rumored to really like him. They need a safety. So why not? That's a good pick. Panthers, I have them taking Marshawn Lattimore, the corner from Ohio State. News is that he is most likely the favored corner by most teams. He happens to be my number 2 corner, but the corners are so closely graded that it really wouldn't matter that much for me personally, if my number 2 corner went before my number 1. Panthers need defensive back help more than people realize. They can go many different options here as well. Bengals picking 9. I have them taking Reuben Foster. This would be a good value pick. Great linebacker from Alabama. 10th pick, I have the Bills taking Deshone Kizer, Notre Dame quarterback. I think this would be a good fit. I'm not that high on Kizer, but if he went to a team like the Bills or the Cardinals, I think it would be great. He has a ton of potential. He just needs some work. Next pick, I actually have my first trade. I have the Cardinals swapping with the Saints. I have the Cardinals' main goal here is to jump the Browns to get their quarterback, Deshaun Watson, quarterback from Clemson. They're rumored to really like Deshaun Watson, and Carson Palmer's got to have, I expect, one more year, and I'm almost retired this year, so Watson could be that guy for the Cardinals, and that could be scary, what I think personally. So the Browns got jumped. They will not take a quarterback then. I have them taking Dalvin Cook, running back, Florida State. Running back could be a need. Crowell's a free agent. Even with Crowell, Cook I think is better, even though Crowell had a pretty good year, pretty good running back. But Cook kind of too good to pass on and could help the team right away. And then the Saints traded back to this spot, still gets the best defensive player available, Derek Barnett. This would be a hell of a value pick in my opinion. They need anything on defense, and they'll be happy with Barnett. Eagles get Mike Williams here. They need a receiver bad. He drops to this spot, so they would be they wouldn't even think about it. They would take him in a second. This is my next trade. This is originally the Colts pick. I have the Broncos trading up to get an O.J. Howard. They need a tight end. O.J. Howard's got Pro Bowl potential, easily Pro Bowl potential. So the Broncos trade up. ahead of teams like the Titans and the Bucks, who could also be suitors for O.J. Howard. Colts trade back to the Broncos spot. Obviously, Ravens. I have the Ravens taking Sidney Jones, corner out of Washington. Happens to be my number one corner in the draft. Haven't seen anybody else say he's the number one corner until yesterday, actually. Mike Mayock finally came out with his rankings. He is kind of a DB guru himself. He has Sidney Jones number one corner, so I was pretty excited to see that. I haven't seen anybody else, but I think as soon as people put the tape on, they're going to see how good this guy is. He's kind of an underrated guy, and Ravens would get a good pick here. The Redskins get Solomon Thomas, D lineman from Stanford. I think he drops just a little bit just because he's a great player, but just because his production wasn't always there compared to other D linemen like Jonathan Allen and Derek Barnett, always had production. Wasn't always there for him, but great player, great bowl game, way to end the season. Skins get a great player there. Titans need a corner bad. I have them taking Marlon Humphrey, Alabama corner. I like Marlon Humphrey, but it sounds like news around the league that the teams are higher on him than I expected. So I don't see him getting by this point from that news. I mean, I think he's worthy of the pick. I'm just not maybe quite as high on him, but it's pretty close. Corners are close, like I said. Next pick, Buccaneers. I have them taking Alvin Kamara, Tennessee running back, who I really like. Definitely a riser for everyone else as well. Even though they got Doug Martin, who's a good running back, he's got his whole situation. I've heard that he may be released. Even with him, Doug Martin kind of gets hurt sometimes. Kamara is just so explosive, a great receiving running back that he just makes that offense so much better. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went Kamara here. This is the spot where Colts traded back. They need a linebacker. They need a safety. They need a lot, but they need linebackers and they need safeties. Jabril Peppers, a guy that can play both. They know they can trade back and get him, so I have Jabril Peppers going to the Colts. Main reason for that trade was I really believe somebody will have to trade up to get O.J. Howard. Why not the Broncos? That was the main reason for that trade. Next pick is the Detroit Lions. I'm taking Taco Charlton. This would be a good value pick as well. Pass rushing could use an upgrade. Dolphins. I have Dolphins taking Hassan Reddick, linebacker Temple. Dolphins need linebackers. They also have a lot that may leave free agency. They need them anyways. Reddick could be a guy that teams are split on because he's making that transition from mainly defensive end at Temple to outside linebacker. I think he's going to be just fine, and there's got to be teams out there that are high on him. Probably teams that aren't as high, like I said. But I got Dolphins taking Reddick. Giants, big need at tight end. I have him taking David Njoku, playmaker tight end. That would help that offense a lot. Raiders, I have taken Gerard Davis, middle linebacker from Florida. Really controlled that excellent Florida defense. Raiders need a middle linebacker to control that defense. I see this as a fit, and I see this as a very possible pick. Great pick. Next pick, Texans at 25. I'm taking Texas Tech quarterback Patrick Mahomes II, who I really like. I'm a fan of. From what I've heard, he does not get by this point. If he falls to the Texans are rumored to take him. They may have to trade up to get him. I see it as a fit, and he's worthy of this spot for sure. So he does not get by this point, so that means 4 quarterbacks gone at this point is a very strong possibility, which is pretty crazy to think about. Seahawks are next. They take the first offense lineman off the board, Garrett Bowles, Utah offense lineman, who has moved to my best O-lineman in the draft because Ryan Ramczyk from Wisconsin, who would be the best lineman, would be well gone by this spot. Injury seems to be a concern for other teams and for many teams around the league, saying he could drop pretty far because of that injury. So kind of have to wait and see on that one. But Bowles, an excellent offensive lineman. Chiefs need some linebacker help. Could use outside or inside. Zach Cunningham can play both. He's kind of a boomer bust guy. But yeah, a lot of upside for him. I can see the Chiefs taking him here. Cowboys, I have them taking Charles Harris, DN/outside linebacker from Missouri. Excellent pass rusher. I think he plays DN for the Cowboys, but the upside there is he can step back and play outside linebacker for them if they need him as well. Packers, I have them taking Christian McCaffrey, running back Stanford, who's on the rise for me. Great fit with the Packers. That offense would be that much more dangerous. Kind of a scapegoat for Rodgers. As he's in trouble, he drops it off McCaffrey, who's an excellent receiving running back. That would be scary, even though the Packers need a lot of defense of pickups badly. I don't see them passing on McCaffrey sitting there unless there's some crazy defensive player there as well. Then it's going to be interesting. Steelers, I have the Steelers taking Quincy Wilson, Florida corner. It was hard for me to see him still on the board at this spot. Another boomer bust guy. Does it all. Technique isn't all there. That's maybe the reason he can drop. But a ton of potential. Steelers need a corner more than people realize. Drafted Artie Burns last year. Maybe overdraft him a little bit. Still, I mean, Artie Burns can definitely be good. Cockrell's a free agent. Even with those guys, they need another corner. Corner's so important. Quincy Wilson is the guy that would get right in there and play well for the Steelers, I think. Falcons taking Caleb Brantley, interior D-line from Florida. Here's the thing about Brantley. I don't know if he's worthy of a first-round pick. Other experts are very high on him. To me, he's not a third down guy. I don't think he can be on unless it's third and short. He's one of the best run stuffers in this draft for sure. But we see guys in the past drop because they can't be on the field on third down, third and long. So I wouldn't be surprised if he dropped. I know experts would be surprised because everybody's high on him. But the Falcons, seem like the Raiders and the Falcons I wouldn't hate on the pick completely if they took him because they need interior. They need run stopping bad. They need it bad. So it wouldn't be the bad pick. I think he's more of a second rounder just because he's mainly just a run stopper. And then the last pick in the first round, I have the Patriots taking John Ross. John Ross sliding a little bit because he's rumored to need surgery after the combine. Nothing major. But John Ross and the Patriots, just the idea of that sounds pretty crazy. I'm pretty high on John Ross if he's good to go, like injury-wise. So on to round two, kind of going to go through this a little faster. Browns taking Jalen Tabor, corner Florida. I don't think he should get out of the first round, but it's looking realistic. Excellent corner. The Browns would be very happy with that. Niners need a receiver bad. I'm taking Cooper Kupp, who's rumored to possibly sneaking in the first round. I would be surprised, but this could be his range. Bears, I have the Bears taking Jaron Conley, corner from Ohio State. Yes, I went 2 rounds without having the Bears take a quarterback. I don't think that, I mean, they need defensive backs bad, and they got 2 great ones here in this mock draft, so it wouldn't be that surprising to me. Jaguars taking Forrest Lamp, excellent pick there. Jags obviously need an offensive line upgrade. Forrest Lamp's very good, can play tackle and guard. Rams taking a chance on Ryan Ramczyk with his injury. He could potentially be very good. Obviously, the Rams need offensive line help. Jets taking Montravius Adams, defensive lineman from Auburn. This would be a good value pick, possibly go first round. Jets have a good D-line, but could use interior more, and I think it's just too good to pass. Chargers taking Cam Robinson, another guy I'm not as high on as other people. Inconsistent, but did block the best in college football. So Chargers would be very happy with Cam Robinson here. Panthers taking Takk McKinley, UCLA edge rusher. A guy I have dropping a little bit because he's rumored to possibly need surgery. I don't know if I know things are going to change come draft time, but I don't think a team would chance that in the first round. But very good player if he doesn't need surgery. Could be a first rounder easily. Bengals, I have him taking Zay Jones, wide receiver, East Carolina, who I like a lot. Bengals need a receiver. We saw A.J. Green go down, and they really didn't have any action. They do have Boyd, who has potential, but Zay Jones will help that team a lot. Bills taking Malik McDowell, too good to pass on here. He can go first round. Production wasn't always there, and slight injury concern. That's why I have him dropping. Saints, I have the Saints taking corner from LSU, Tre'Davious White, who I have falling a little bit just because he may be a full-time nickel corner, which, I mean, nickel corners are very important. But do you take one early? That's the question. But it'll be a good pick for the Saints who need a lot of defense. Eagles taking Desmond King, corner/safety from Iowa. 2 years ago, led the nation in interceptions. That's impressive on his resume. But I'm hearing he could drop just because some teams do not know if he should be a corner or safety at the next level. Cardinals taking Juju Smith-Schuster. They need receiver help. I see Smith-Schuster as a beast on the Cardinals. That'd be a great pick. Vikings taking guard from Indiana, Dan Feeney. Another guy I couldn't believe I still had it on the board. The Vikings would just love to have him in there. Obviously, they need offensive line help. Colts taking Tim Williams. His talent is easily in the first round. Off-the-field concerns sound like they might drop him to round 2. Colts would just take the best player available here. Ravens next need receiver help. I have them taking Carlos Henderson, who I really like from Louisiana Tech. Sleeper. I think he ends up going round 2 after people see his tape. Skins taking Marcus Williams, the big safety from Utah. Need a safety, and this is where his range is, I believe. And the Browns kind of going best player available, going Ryan Anderson. Guy that can play outside linebacker, middle linebacker, can even come off the edge at the end position. So the Browns taking Ryan Anderson. from Bama. Bucks need a safety pretty bad. Justin Evans is sitting here from Texas A&M. I think they take him. Broncos, another team that needs something very badly. Offensive line. Antonio Garcia from Troy is on the rise. I think they can take him here. Lions could use another corner. Fabian Moreau, excellent man-to-man corner, very good tackling. Could be a guy that could sneak in the end of the first round. Lions would take him here. Dolphins, Adoree Jackson, USC corner, very raw at the corner position, can get beat sometimes, needs some work, but overall great athlete. Don't think he gets out of the second round because of his athleticism. Giants, I have the Giants taking Curtis Samuel, athlete from Ohio State, can play running back, can play receiver. Giants can use both of those things. Why not? Raiders, I have the Raiders taking a chance on Joe Mixon, Oklahoma running back. Would be a first-round pick. Off the field concerns, no combine invite. Drops him. I think I can see the Raiders being a team taking a chance on him. They need a running back as well. Murray's a free agent. Mixon's better anyways. Texans need a tight end. Bucky Hodges, an excellent receiving tight end. They can take him or Evan Engram there. Seahawks adding another corner. Cordrea Tankersley, I can see him being a beast on the Seahawks. I mean, they make every corner a beast, so that'll work. Chiefs, I have Chiefs taking Dede Westbrook, need receiver help. They get a good, fast receiver that obviously can make plays. Cowboys, I have the Cowboys taking Cameron Sutton, corner / nickel / safety from Tennessee. Like that about him. He can do all three. I think sure the Cowboys would like that since they really need all three. Could use all three, I should say. Packers taking DeMarcus Walker from Florida State, a guy I'm higher on than most. He is in this draft. He is the best. He is the leader in Power 5 sacks. So against the best teams in college football, he leads in sacks. He's on that list with Derek Barnett and Jordan Willis. So he's a sleeper for me, to say the least. Steelers, I have Steelers taking Dwayne Smoot. They can use another edge rusher, Illinois edge rusher Smoot, who I've heard could possibly sneak in the late first round. Falcons taking Evan Engram, a receiving tight end. Falcons could use some of that. They have Hooper, but more of a threat. Throwing the ball to Engram would help make that offense a lot better than it actually already is. It'll make it pretty scary, and it's already scary. Last pick in the second round, I have the Patriots taking Jordan Lewis. Michigan corner could drop because another one of those guys that might just be a nickel corner, but a tight coverage guy. Patriots could need a corner badly, depending on how their free agency goes. And that'll do it for that 2-round mock. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you guys like and subscribe. That would be much appreciated. Tweeting out all kinds of stuff, rankings, lists, stuff like that on our Twitter at frogs_angels. So if you guys can follow that, that would be fantastic. Going to live tweet the combine. Going to live tweet probably live grade the draft. So please follow that Twitter. That would be great. And that'll do it for this video. Goodbye.